You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast,
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN episode 301. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and yes, this is the first time I'm recording this. I am joined by my resident Embar Glazer and my fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins.
ready and waiting to glaze, sir.
Yeah, permission to glaze accepted, or whatever the fuck I said the first time. Oh, gosh, damn it. Fuck OBS. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week is Sony going third party? Who knows? So let's go ahead and jump right in just 1 second. Since this didn't get broadcast before, I broadcast it again. I was in Canada last week. Great time in Canada for Glenn's bachelor party. I didn't fuck it up the first time, but I fucked it up this time.
It was perfect execution.
It was, yeah, and here we are. So great time for Glenn's bachelor party, as well as other shenanigans that we got up to. And thank you to Gage and Lynn for being such wonderful and gracious hosts. You guys were fantastic.
Thank you for being a wonderful and gracious guest and not being an absolute pig. It was a great time. It was. I said not. I said you weren't. That's a compliment. It was a great time. No. In all seriousness, it was a great time. I'm glad that you finally made your way up here and got to visit the Great White North.
The Great White North. Get the Canadians back in there. All right. Let's moving to the topic of the show. This is the first time we've gotten into the topic of the show today, right, Gage?
Is it? Is it?
The question we're asking is Sony going third party. Are they going to become a third party publisher? We are asking that question because now I'm opening this link again because I closed it because we finished the segment, but we're going to bring it back right now. According to a job listing, Sony has wants to expand PlayStation Studios titles across Steam, Epic, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile, reporting directly to the Vice President, Commercial Management as Senior Director of Multi-Platform and Account Management. You will play a critical leadership role in shaping and executing the global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studios software across all digital platforms beyond PlayStation hardware, including Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. This role is accountable for optimizing title profitability, ensuring cross-functional alignment, and leading a high-performing team focused on multi-platform expansion, mid-range commercial planning, and platform partner management. A lot of scuttle online from this job posting and begging the question, do we think that Sony is going to start becoming more of a third-party publisher?
I think nowadays that is what makes sense. We're going to get into it a little bit later about why they might recently be thinking that when it comes to Xbox and some of the success they've had. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret in the industry that video game budgets are starting to balloon and become bigger and bigger. Not only is there more and more talent required for some of these games, but the years that they spend in development is getting longer and longer. So this would be a really cost-efficient way to increase your revenue, maybe even 2-3-fold, and enable you to keep making these blockbuster, groundbreaking games that like Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica and Insomniac like to make. So I feel like all of us on the podcast have said this, and this is kind of a no-brainer, and they should be, but obviously there's sort of history and tradition of console exclusives that we need to break down and But it looks like we're getting there. Slowly but surely we're getting there. And this job listing certainly is a step in the right direction, and it gives me hope that we might see something big from PlayStation in terms of their rollout for their exclusives in the future.
Yeah, and it is interesting because this is kind of a juxtaposition against what Nintendo is doing right now. Because Nintendo came out a few weeks ago basically saying, yeah, like our budgets are getting insane right now, so we've got to do something about that. And it seems like their solution is to make games quicker, apparently, which,
Right.
whether that's good or bad, who knows, remains to be seen. But maybe they just make smaller projects and maybe it works out that way. But Sony seemingly is going a bit more down the Microsoft route if this job listing seems to pan out. And even begs the question of, like, if this does happen and they become more of a third-party publisher, will they do something like have PC games come out an exact date after the PlayStation release? So you have a PlayStation exclusive at launch, and then maybe a year later it comes out on PC, and then maybe 6 months after that Xbox, or maybe they go and bite the bullet and say, let's release PlayStation and PC day and date together, since the audiences aren't going to have as much of a crossover there as there would be for multiple consoles. So maybe they release day and date on those two, and then Xbox and Nintendo or whatever other platforms a year after that or something like that. That way it doesn't necessarily cannibalize their hardware sales right off rip.
Right. I'm certainly hoping for the latter. I don't want a staggered rollout between all these platforms. And I think I just went back to look at it. Because they did, Helldivers was the first big PlayStation published game that did release day and date on PC and PlayStation. Unless I'm forgetting another one, I could be confused. But if we're going to assume that Helldivers was the first major PlayStation published game that released day and date, I mean, they sold 12 million copies across PlayStation 5 and PC within the first 12 weeks. So that's kind of huge, especially when you think of like the size of a game that Helldivers 2 is. We all love Helldivers 2, but it's not some monolith game. Like, it's a very small in scope game that does one thing, and it does it very well. But 12 million units sold is a big number. That's like Naughty Dog numbers that normally you see. So I definitely hope that what we see from PlayStation going forward is something in line with PC and PlayStation day and date, and then maybe 8 to 12 month gap for releasing on Xbox, which is crazy even to say out loud that we're even getting to the point where that's becoming a reality that we could see, because I think gamers for a long time have kind of sane gamers that aren't, into the console fan wars, whatever you want to call it. Sane gamers for a long time have kind of been saying, like, yeah, let's just let people play where they want to play. Let cross-play be a thing. Let gamers play with other gamers, regardless of what platform they're on. And I think heading towards that reality is definitely a good sign, and I'm excited for it, personally.
Yeah, absolutely. Very exciting to not have to worry about which plastic box you own to see if you can play a certain game.
Right. Especially as we get to closer and closer to the age where the gap between the power of these consoles is getting narrower and narrower. Like, a lot of AMD makes like the internals for like both of these systems, and a lot of times it's just minor tweaking that really changes them. So there's no real reason that this can't happen anymore. It's not like not like back in the day when PlayStation ran on the Cell and Xbox ran on other architecture. Like, they're all pretty much the same box nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this brings up another question of, is Microsoft's recent success, I put success in quotes because, Microsoft's had their own turmoil with laying off a bunch of people and people questioning whether Game Pass is actually sustainable moving forward or not, but success in terms of multi-platform publisher is what I'll I'll say. Is that influencing Sony's decisions at all? Because we do have some news here that Satya Nadella actually told us today on an earnings call that they are now the top publisher on both Xbox and PlayStation this quarter, with Game Pass annual revenue nearing $5 billion for the first time, which is a pretty insane number. Obviously, I don't know how that relates to like the game sales that you're losing, but
and how much is spent on acquiring these games for Game Pass as well,
Sure.
which is, you just subtract that number too.
Absolutely, yeah. And they also we also got a look at the top 10 for this past quarter selling games on PlayStation, which 6 were published by Microsoft. Number 2 was Forza Horizon 5. Number 3 was Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Number 5 was Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 6 was Doom the Dark Ages. Number 8 was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, premiering on PS5. And number 9, crazy that this game's still selling, Minecraft. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. So yeah, very big quarter for Microsoft in sales on PlayStation and Xbox. And maybe Sony's taking a step back and saying, hey, they're very successful releasing their games that are already finished and put together in a packaged product on our platform. Like, maybe we should be doing the same thing, because if they release Spider-Man, even the original Spider-Man on Xbox, that game's going to sell quite a bit, I would imagine.
Right.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think Phil Spencer is probably loving these headlines, right? 6 of the 10 best-selling games on PlayStation published by Microsoft. That's just it's kind of hard to see that as anything other than an absolute win. And I bet you absolutely PlayStation is sitting there looking at that going, damn. They haven't had a really big exclusive launch lately, but I mean, if they were already doing like multi-platform releases at the time of like, The Last of Us Part 2, right? What would that have looked like? Because as we talk about, there are certain genres of game that specifically PlayStation excels at that you don't see Xbox really touching, right? There's not a lot of third-person action adventures to the caliber of Sony Santa Monica or Sucker Punch or Naughty Dog that are releasing on Xbox. So like, I feel like almost ironically, PlayStation would benefit more from this strategy than Xbox might, even though Xbox is having insane success. And a great example of how it works in Xbox's favor is Forza Horizon, right? There is no PlayStation, there is no answer to that. They don't have a Forza Horizon, which is why it dominated when it released. So, looking at PlayStation's side of things, I think that when they finally do pull the pin and start releasing their games on Xbox, we're going to see a lot of headlines like this in PlayStation's favor. And Xbox is going to keep, after these stats that we're seeing, I don't think Microsoft is going to slow down on their end either. I think you're just going to start seeing, these, maybe ironically enough, these companies start refocusing on just like the quality of games, right? Because it doesn't really matter about trying to create an ecosystem for your own Xbox, for your own console anymore. It's going to be who can get the best games, because they're going to be competing in every sort of market now.
And like, how easy would it be for Sony to start releasing like the God of War 2018, The Last of Us Part 1.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, they could easily release those and get a ton of sales for those games. And those are the older versions of their, and then, 2 years from now, release their sequels, Ragnarok and Last of Us Part 2 and, what was the other one I said?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, thank you. Yeah. So they could literally like print money with those titles, and you know, we joke all the time about, file save as or how hard it is to port a game, but like for the most part, the heavy lifting of the game itself is already done. You're just making it work on a new console.
Right. And like you just mentioned there, I think the hardest thing for PlayStation is going to be how they handle their PSN account requirements and file saves, right? Because that's one of the big things that Xbox has going for it, is that the Xbox ecosystem is so easy to use, and the way it handles cloud saves and all that stuff. So there's going to be a little bit of friction there, and I think maybe that's why PlayStation, if we want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's not just ideological, but maybe there are some technical reasons as to why they've been holding off so long. But if they can get that stuff figured out, and if there's a simple solution as just add more Xbox servers that are dedicated to just these PlayStation IP or whatever. Yeah, I mean you're right. The floodgates are totally going to open when they have so much backlog games that like Xbox, even if Xbox gamers they're not in their peripheral, they're not on their radar. Like once they start seeing advertisements on the Xbox Game Store or the Microsoft Store for like The Last of Us Part 1 or Ghost of Tsushima or God of War, like it's gonna be open season.
I'm gonna buy some Sony stock before that happens. I'm just kidding. Don't take my.
Are you
stock
kidding though?
No, I'm kidding. Don't take my stock advice.
That sounds like pretty good stock advice to me.
I don't know. All right, so to answer the question, is Sony going third party? Maybe.
I hope so.
We hope so. All right. Let's move into the PXN news of the week. We have one item here. Battlefield 6 got a reveal trailer for campaign. This came out when I was in Canada. We watched it on your couch together.
We did.
How was that trailer?
It was good. It was good. Battlefield always does this, and it was my fault. I got my hopes up, as I do with everything. But they always have a very, very quick cutty kind of reveal trailer where you don't really see what's going on. With the exception of maybe Battlefield 1, I feel like Battlefield 1 had a pretty great reveal trailer that gave a lot of people a good taste of what it was going to be. Shout out to Battlefield 1. I just have to shout them out whenever I can because it's the last great Battlefield game, in my opinion. But this looks good in terms of tone and atmosphere. It's very refreshing. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but the last 15 seconds of the multiplayer trailer has been leaked and has been circulating online. I don't know if you saw it.
Yep.
So the vibes and the tone and the art style is exactly what I want right now, and I really hope that that the development team, I'm sure the development team wants this. I hope that they have the leeway from their overlords to allow this this atmosphere to maintain its integrity. Let's just put it that way. Because this grounded, dirty, murky sort of but military style game is kind of what I want in terms of a console shooter right now. I don't want to see Nicki Minaj or Snoop Dogg running around. I don't want to see fucking Seth MacFarlane or American Dad, Beavis and Butthead. I don't want to see any of that shit. Please just stop. I can't do it anymore.
Yes, I did see the 15 seconds of the multiplayer reveal trailer that is releasing tomorrow, and it looks very good. I'm very excited for those jet dogfights. We got a little taste of that in that leak, and we also got a release date from that leak as well, which is October 10th. A little sooner than I thought it would be. I thought maybe it would slip to early next year, but October 10th. Going to be right before Call of Duty, probably.
Before Call of Duty and before Arc Raiders. I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to get a little bit nervous.
For Arc Raiders or for Battlefield?
For Arc Raiders. I don't think Arc Raiders is going to cannibalize Battlefield.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Arc Raiders. Honestly, like with
I
the
don't.
reception to Battlefield 2042 at launch and like maybe some people being off put by that, I wouldn't be surprised if Arc Raiders pulls a lot of players off of Battlefield 6. And also it's probably going to be partially different audiences as well, I would say. I don't think it'll necessarily cannibalize or anything.
I just worry that Arc Raiders is a more niche genre to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think that if Battlefield starts getting hype, which it may or may not deserve, hopefully it does deserve it. I really want a great Battlefield game again. Yeah, I just worry that if that's an easier game, probably for people to get into, right?
True.
So I hope that, and if Arc Raiders is launching in between Battlefield and Call of Duty, it's going to be a really, really tough spot because we've seen historically Titanfall 2 that you can be a technically, incredible game that is a technical masterpiece, but if you launch at the wrong time, you can get overshadowed by your neighbors. So starting to get a little bit nervous, but I am still rooting for Battlefield. I want a return to form. I've mentioned it before, but Battlefield is probably my favorite multiplayer shooter ever, and I'm ready to get back in to a competent, feature complete Battlefield game. Please, DICE, please. Or Ripple Effect, whatever the fuck you're called now.
And here's what I would probably be worried because some Call of Duty games come out in late October and some come out in early November. So like with the 31st being on a Friday, I would be worried if Call of Duty launches on November 4th, which is that Tuesday, because then you're put in the position of you may have like early access or something on the 31st, which would be the same day as Arc Raiders. That would be a disaster, I think.
Yes, that would not be good. Although I think, let me look at the Black Ops 6 release date. I think they were a bit later in November, weren't they? Black Ops 6.
Good question.
Release date. Let's see. No, what?
Oh,
October 25th.
Yeah, see, that's what worries me a little bit because they're usually either late October or early November.
Modern Warfare 3 was November 10th. I think that would maybe give. It's still not looking great. I'm not liking these numbers.
Yeah, that's right in that window.
Right.
Now, we also got word in regards to Battlefield 6 from Andrew Wilson, EA CEO, that the company is not looking to make any dramatic changes in pricing for their frontline games, which seems to suggest that Battlefield 6 will launch at $70 and not $80, which there were rumors out there for a little bit that it might launch at $80.
Probably a smart decision, specifically with the struggles that this franchise has had. It would be a very ballsy move to come out after two poorly received entries back to back to say, hey, this game that is maybe starting to get a little bit of positive hype, it's going to be $80 now. I think that they're probably at this point trying to avoid every controversy they possibly can. So smart decision to keep this at 70, in my opinion.
Agreed. And that leads us into the Quick Bites, which is also another $80 game going down to $70, which that is The Outer Worlds 2 will no longer be one of Microsoft's first $80 Xbox games. The Outer Worlds 2 is getting a price drop back to the regular $69.99 Xbox game price. Essentially, Microsoft reversed their decision to up the price to $80 and will still have $70 as their top-end first-party games, which some people were taking this as like, oh no, Outer Worlds 2. It really has nothing to do with the quality of the Outer Worlds 2 and more so to do with them wanting to increase the price of their premium games. So hopefully the Outer Worlds 2 does good at this price point because I freaking love the first game and I'm very excited for this game.
I loved everything I saw from the deep dive. And I think this is probably, this is definitely a good thing for the game. Hopefully, like you said, we see good sales numbers for this.
Yeah. The next quick bite, Sony has acquired a 2.5% stake in Bandai Namco. So talking about those stock prices, Sony's eating up Bandai Namco. Sony said the 16 million share acquisition forms part of a broader strategic partnership with Bandai Namco and will focus on expanding the fan community for IP such as anime and manga around the world and strengthening engagement. Get into some Bandai Namco. All right.
Bandai Namco.
The next quick bite. Wolfenstein is officially becoming a TV series from Kilter Films and Amazon, which of course are the people behind the Fallout series on Prime. Be very interested to see how this does. I love the Wolfenstein games that Machine Games has made. I don't know how it's going to translate to a TV series, but I'm fascinated to kind of see how that comes about, I guess.
Yeah, they're tough because it's tough for them to deal with it because we already have something like Inglourious Bastards, which is pretty much a Wolfenstein game but made a movie, right? So yeah, I mean, they'll have to. I mean, with the alternate history aspect, if they can snag the production team behind Fallout and do some really cool alternate history stuff, maybe they can stand out a little bit. But lots and lots and lots of anti-Nazi TV shows and movies, which is definitely not a bad thing, but it's going to be tough. Like you said, it's going to be tough for them to stand out, I think. So hopefully they can find a really good writer, some really good actors, and kind of come up with some sort of special something.
Absolutely. Sony is suing Tencent for Light of Motorium being a Slavish clone of Horizon. This game side by side with the Horizon Zero Dawn art, it looks identical. Like the character designs, the dinosaur mechanized designs, the world designs, like it's very much a ripoff of Horizon Zero Dawn. So more power to Sony, and hopefully they win this, because I feel like stuff like this, when it happens, it just hurts the industry getting these slop clones released.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I mean, you have something like Pal World, which people might want to point to as an example, but the difference between Pal World and this situation is that Pal World and Nintendo, who are both of the belligerents, so to speak, in the court case battle, they're both located in Japan, both of those companies, right? In this one, you've got we'll say Western company like Sony trying to sue a Chinese game company, and China doesn't always play ball with our legal system. They might not care. I don't know if there's anything they really can do. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. There's a lot of rip-offs of a lot of different industries in China that just kind of get to fly by because the Chinese government doesn't really give a shit. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, if this company making this game was based in the States, this would be the easiest court case in the history of the world, because you're right, it's an absolute one-to-one ripoff. I'm interested to see how it actually shakes out with the difference of jurisdictions and legal systems.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, at the least they could block it in, the countries that they've sued them in or whatever.
Fair point.
Wouldn't hold them back in China, but our next quick bite, Hollow Knight Silksong will officially have a new playable demo at Gamescom, and it will be playable at the Xbox booth on PC and ROG Xbox Ally. It's real. It's happening. Sheldon will be very excited about that.
Oh yeah. He's a big Hollow Knight guy.
Oh yeah. Is he gonna have fingers to be able to play it?
I don't even know. Yeah, that's true. He might not be able to play it as good as he used to.
Hopefully you're feeling better, Sheldon. That was just a joke. We love you.
It's a good joke. It was a good joke. It was a great joke.
All right. Our next quick bite, a new Friday the 13th game is officially in development alongside a new movie as well, set in the Jason Voorhees universe. I just hope that this is as fun as the Friday the 13th game we got like a decade ago. Even though it was fucking clunky and broken as shit at launch, it was fun when it worked. It was fun.
Hopefully, more people will play it this time.
That's true. I think a lot of people would have played it if it actually functioned at launch. Like, it legit didn't even function at launch. The servers were all fucked up. It was a disaster. All right. The final... Actually, this may not be the final quick bite, but the next quick bite, Nintendo Partner Showcase was announced for tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. If you're listening to this on podcast services, then it will have already happened. We will discuss everything that will be announced next week. Maybe Microsoft announces more multi-platform stuff at this event, since this is a partner showcase.
Something.
And then I'm going to throw this in at the end, this last quick bite, because you sent it in our chat gauge. Jump Ship had a little bit of a gameplay tease here on their Twitter account. This is the first time I'm seeing this. This looks awesome.
It's funny because I was kind of getting a little bit of Starfield vibes from that, with the landing your ship and jumping off and doing stuff. But I mean, the fact that it's 4-player co-op that's quite a big of a curveball. So that could make that gameplay loop a lot more exciting.
True.
Yeah, it looks very, very, very good. I cannot wait. I don't know when this game's coming out, but I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, wasn't it supposed to be this year?
It is still. Not only is it this year, it's still slated for summer 2025, which makes me a little bit nervous. Are we going to see a last-minute delay? Or are they just in the home stretch getting this thing done?
Coming
I don't know.
Soon to early access on Steam right now. Coming soon. All right. That is our quick bites. So let us jump into fantasy draft check-in. And what do we have here? Gage picked up something while I was there and I didn't even know about it? What?
Did I?
What? You did.
No, I didn't.
July 26, 2025 at 8:13 p.m., Gage Okie Dokie Inc. acquired the game Dying Light the Beast with $5.
I did do that. I forgot about that. I think I was reading. It was one of those end of the nights where we're both sitting on the couch, we're both silently doom scrolling, and I think I read like 2 or 3 articles that did a preview of it pretty positively, and I was like, maybe I should just get another game in here, fill this out real quick.
Hell yeah!
Dying Light the Beast.
Dying Light the Beast. You did it. All right.
I did it.
As far as updates go, we do have, I believe, one update, which is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and none other than Christian Macias has this game, and he fucking just keeps getting these double digits. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is sitting at an 87 right now on OpenCritic for 17 points for Christian Macias. That is huge for him. And huge for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Like, this is literally the year of Ninja Gaiden, and so far we're off to a great start with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and now Ragebound, with still Ninja Gaiden 4 to come later this year.
It's a big day for ninja dorks. It's a big day for dorks who like ninjas.
Why do I feel like Christian's gonna win this?
I really hope he doesn't.
He's got every single one of his games is double digits. Every single one.
That's true.
I don't think that's beatable. I don't think any of us, none of us have anything close to that.
When Half-Life gets announced and released this year, that'll be like a 96, 97.
Right. Yeah.
So that's gonna bring it up to 100 alone, and then the rest of my games, come on.
That's true.
Watch out, Christian.
I really wanted Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm so upset that I didn't outbid him for that. I instead fucking put all my money on Marathon. Fuck me. Dumbass.
That was a very, very silly decision for you to do.
It was. But that was, a different time back then,
Sure.
We have had, let's see, Christian has had 7 games release, and he is in first place with 137 points right now. I have had 8 games released, which you would think I would have more points. I have 1 more game released. No, I have less points. 113 points with 8 games released. Gage is in third with 75 points and 6 games released. And Roe is coming up the rear with 38 points and just 3 games released, though. Roe's got a lot of games left. He better start drafting something. He's got 4 left to draft.
4 games left.
Yes. So upcoming releases, Mafia: The Old Country is coming August 8th from Roe. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater coming the 28th of August to Gage. Shinobi Art of Vengeance coming August 29th for Christian, and that rounds out the month of August for us.
Nice.
All right. That brings us to What You Got For Me. Dan, what you got for me? Well, I hope Glenn is listening right now, because I would like to proclaim the announcement that I am the official Splinter Cell Conviction Champion in person, because Dan absolutely wiped the floor with Glenn in person to prove once and for all I am the Splinter Cell King.
Well, there's one problem with that, is that neither of you faced me. You both were too scared to even open that door, which is understandable. If I was in the presence of someone like myself, I too would probably cower in fear. So you're the king of between you and Glenn. I can attest to that. Glenn didn't get his ass. He did get his ass whooped. But you know what? We've got to combine What You Got For Me, since we both spent the week together.
That's
so
true.
Why don't we just get it all out of the way?
Okay.
Glenn demolished you in Mario Kart, both on the Switch
well,
too.
Come on, we didn't have to say that.
And at the Palladium Arcade as well.
Oh,
he did demolish
God,
you there.
Here it goes. Well, let's talk about I fucking destroyed everyone until Glenn showed up from God knows where Glenn was that whole time.
He was in the bathroom all night. I don't remember that part of it. I do remember you. I do remember Glenn whooped your ass in air hockey as well, I believe.
You know what? I do remember I whooped the ass of a Frenchman after I got my ass hit by a Frenchman on the way there. So, Guy, you got beat at air hockey. What can I say?
Is that true? You beat Guy at air hockey?
Yeah, I beat everyone at air hockey, including Guy. Yeah.
Wow.
I just lost to Glenn by 1.
And then we also played the most important game this week, which was real life go-kart racing.
Oh God.
And in that case, the 3 finalists, there was a gold medal, a silver medal, and a bronze medal. And Dan did not acquire any of them. He did not get any. Friend of the show, Guillaume, took home the gold. Unfortunately, you hate to see the French win. Sheldon took home the silver, and your resident Embark Laser rounded out the podium with the bronze statue of 3rd place. Now, Dan, and going into that last race, I started off in 6th position, and I got myself up to 3rd. Okay, I had maybe the best race that was seen that day, if we're being completely honest.
Trump has joined us. Now, just to qualify this for the audience, we had an incident in the second race that Dan was fucking absolutely scarred from the rest of that day. I was fucking absolutely scarred from that incident. And that incident was we were going around an S turn. I spun out, and then Sheldon spun out behind me because he slammed on his brakes to avoid hitting me. And then Glenn, this man goes full speed ahead and ramps up Sheldon's cart and is on top of Sheldon's cart. And I'm just sitting there in fucking shock and disbelief at seeing another cart on top of someone else. And I'm like, what the fuck's happening? The employees rush over, take the cart off, and I see Sheldon stand up, and I think Glenn asked him if he was okay, and he's like, yeah, I'm good. And then he's like, well, except for my finger that's bleeding like everywhere. And
hanging on by a thread dangling off of his hand.
Yeah, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I said at that moment in time, I said, I am not going fucking full force in that final race. And I even said to myself, if anybody comes anywhere near me, I'm fucking slowing down, getting out of the way, and letting them pass me, which is exactly what I did. And I came in second to last place on the final race because of that, right next to friend of the show, Ryan, who was driving like a grandmother.
Now that was consistent across all three races.
Yeah.
Ryan, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And Ryan, he was. I don't remember what he was saying. He was throwing out some excuses the next day when we got dinner together. But I'm just realizing now that we had a different cart for each three races. So I don't know what kind of bullshit he's trying to spin. But Ryan absolutely was the grandma of the night for sure. Yeah. So you know what? Hey, third place finalist. You didn't get any medals that day, which is okay. You can't. I mean, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, as they say. So,
okay. I just want to say,
overall,
the practice race, I was in second. The qualifiers, I was in fourth. That's all I'll say.
Where'd you come in the final race?
Well, we already explained why. Glenn's in the chat. He wants to jump in here. I mean, I want to correct you as well. Gage and Daniel, meet me in... Wait, what? Dan, meet me in the last match. Oh, beat me. I think he meant to put beat me in the last match, but technically the night before he lost horribly. So technically we're both 1-for-1. Let's qualify that, shall we, Glenn? I was in the most fucking zombie-esque mode possible that night, and I even told you, I said, I'm fucking dead. Like, I literally can't even, motor skills are not a thing for me right now. I'm not functional. So I would say that you were trying to get me when I was at my low point. You were trying to take advantage of me, Glenn, and I didn't have it.
Do you see his next message?
I didn't have it. Glenn says he's gonna say he was tired from that. However, a true Splinter Cell master wouldn't be tired. They're an operative and then an agent, so that can't be an excuse. Well, you know what, Glenn? That is my excuse because Sam Fisher needs sleep too. Okay,
Glenn, you're amazing. You are absolutely amazing. You're on a roll tonight.
Sam Fisher needs sleep too. No, I played a bunch of Mario Kart with Glenn, and he absolutely wiped the floor with me most of the matches. I won a couple races, but that was actually the most fun I've had with Mario Kart in a long time. I've said before, I'm not a huge Mario Kart fan. I didn't buy the Switch 2 for Mario Kart. I bought it for Donkey Kong. But that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with playing some races against Glenn there. And then my last, what you got for me, is Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I played quite a bit of over the last week or so. And so far, very much enjoying it. It is very addicting to the same tune that Breath of the Wild was addicting, just climbing everything the first time you booted it up. Bonanza is very much that, except just like destroying everything the first time you boot it up. Like, I just wanted to dig into all the terrain everywhere and do all of the puzzles. It was fun. Still playing it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play a whole lot of games this last week. I'd say Rematch is probably the game I played the most. You and I played some Rematch. We played a little bit of Halo Infinite.
True.
In terms of some IRL games, we went to Palladium, played a lot of different arcade games. We had the four of us play some Fireteam Raven, Halo Fireteam Raven. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Um,
Ro and I did Dance Dance, whatever.
you guys did Dance Dance, yes, Revolution of some kind,
That was
and
terrible.
it was great to watch you both up there. And what else did I do? I got the high score on piano tiles on my first try in the arcade, which felt like it felt amazing. And then you immediately forgot about it. Which by the way, the high score is 87 keys, and then you went and played it like 20 minutes later, and you pointed to the screen and you're like, I bet you can't beat that, and it was like 62 or something like that. And I was like, Dan, you don't know who you're speaking with. Yeah, Rematch, man. Rematch is fun. Although apparently there is a new update since you've left that completely breaks the game, so that's unfortunate. Maybe we'll have to try that this weekend, see how bad it is.
What did they do?
Just net. They're not having any luck with their network, with their net code. So it's just not looking great.
The game's fun when it works.
It's great when it works. Yeah.
Very interesting. Great times that have been had the last week. Thank you to everyone, all the friends of the show that showed up, including Glenn, Sheldon, Ryan, of course, Ro, obviously, he's on the show, but Guillermo, who else am I missing?
Can I say something?
What?
I think you got all of them. Guy, Ryan, Sheldon, Glenn. Those are all the friends of the show. With the exception, I want to give a shout out to Kurek, who we weren't able to go hang out with this time, but did invite us over to his place for some smoked meats. I really wanted to get down there. We couldn't make it work with our schedule. We already had like most of the week already planned out, and going into Toronto is like the complete opposite from where I live. So Kurek, I really wanted to go. Thank you for inviting us. We are absolutely going to try and make that happen. Me, Ro, and Dan, and maybe next time we can get like maybe if we wait until Christian's here, we can get all of us there. We would absolutely love to meet you in person as well. So shout out to Kurek, who did try to make something happen, just wasn't in the cards this time.
Absolutely. That's fake news. Christian's not coming to Canada. It's fake news.
I'll be in Zimbabwe that week. Sorry, I can't make it.
Just kidding. All right. I believe that will finish the show this week. Thank you again to everyone that is joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Sheldon, for letting me know about video podcasts on Spotify. You can now watch on Spotify as well. Thank you, not Robe. Thank you, Christian, not Christian. Thank you, Gage. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Christian and Ro will return. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Adios.